Now it's time for everybody's favorite game, Pick a Winner. We encourage you, if you're watching in the chat room, to comment with your prediction on who will win the Great American Race for Daytona 500. Get on the leaderboard here for Pick a Winner. I've got quite a bit of work to do. I've only gotten one pick right the entire year, so let's see if I can make that 2 today. It's still very early. Of course, we have over 100 races across the series we cover in the Grid ranking here on Grid Network to cover. So comment again with who you think wins the Daytona 500 today. Kobe, I'm going to start with you. Who takes home the Harley J. Earl Trophy?
And before I get my pick, I was wanted to share on Twitter. Adam Limmery said that he's picking Bubba Wallace to win the Daytona 500. As for me, I'm gonna go with the driver who's already seen 2 of his teammates win the Daytona 500. And whenever it comes to the Daytona 500, it always seems like he's pushing somebody to victory and hasn't been able to get the jump done. I think this is gonna be the year of YRB. Ryan Blaney's gonna win his first Daytona 500. So all the Team Penske's drivers will have a Harley J. Earl Trophy of their own.
I've really got to pick because I'm really annoyed that Ed is on 5 points. How did that happen? How am I on 1? Sometimes or another, I think Ed's got like this magic ball and he can see into the future. Anyway, I've been thinking about this for the past hour and 5 minutes, chaps, and I don't want to go too obvious. So I'm going to go for Amarola. I'm going to go for Amarola, starting 4th on the grid. I think they could have a shot at winning the 500, but I'm really hoping that's true. I've literally gone for someone who I know is fast, reliable in the 500 marks, and I'm hoping it's going to be good. But I'm not going to win, am I? I'm never going to have another Marcus Ericsson predicting that a week before it happened after qualifying and getting it right. I'm never going to have that again. So, yeah.
And I'm going to just point out Josh's thing. I've been doing Pick a Winner now about halfway through last season, this season. I'm pretty sure the only sport that I have not gotten correct yet is NASCAR, and that's the sport I contribute to. So you never know with this sport what really happens. But I was thinking...
I need F1 back.
Last season with supercars as well as Formula One, there was 2 drivers that got a lot of points for you there with Max Verstappen and Shane Van Gisbergen. I was going to go Cindric. I was going to go Blaney, but I kind of want to be different. But I'm actually, since I'm 3rd somehow, I'm tied up there. I'm going to stick with Bubba Wallace, I think. I'm not going to pick him much, I don't believe, this season. But I think at these super speedways, it's hard to go against that number 23 Toyota. So that's who I'm going with. But I wouldn't be surprised if Almirola or Cindric or Blaney won this race today. Or Hamlin.
Yeah, we've got several comments here in the chat room as well. Amber going with Bubba Wallace as well. So several people picking the 23 team. Jimmy Johnson, the 84, that's the 43 fans pick. And another Almirola pick as well from A Day in the Life. Of course, Josh, we all remember he came very close to winning it in 2018, so maybe he can go one better this year. Demas says Kevin Harvick will repeat on his 2007 success. And Rod Brown says Connor D inside the top 15. Is that might be referring to the Pick a Winner board? I don't know if we can pull that back up again. But Joe Dexter says since Bubba, Jimmy, and Blaney have been picked, I'll go Kyle Larson, creating a new love for super speedways, LOL. Well, let's see if Kyle Larson can do that. Of course, he came very close in 2017 himself. That was the year that there were a lot of drivers with fuel mileage and a situation there that could have gone either way. So, who knows what's going to happen here as we get into the Daytona 500. All right. You guys know I'm a Philly sports fan. I've been through my Philadelphia Stars in the USFL losing the USFL championship. My Philadelphia Union lost MLS Cup. My Philadelphia Phillies lost the World Series. My Philadelphia Eagles lost the Super Bowl. So I'm not only going to pick a winner, I'm going to tell you right now, my fellow Eagles and Flyers fan, Martin Truex Jr. from New Jersey, the closest driver to Philadelphia. Today, he finishes 2nd in the Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin is going to be your winner. He's going to follow his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate home. But I've got to keep going with the theme here, especially since the Daytona 500 is on Fox and all those other events I just mentioned were also on Fox this year. It would just be too perfect if Truex comes home 2nd. I hope that doesn't happen. I know he's desperate for a Daytona 500 win. But in terms of what I'm actually going to predict, Denny Hamlin wins the race. Martin Truex Jr. follows him home in P2. And the 43 fan says, go Birds. Thank you. I know we're still hurting from the Super Bowl loss, but I appreciate seeing another Eagles fan in the chat here. He also says not that many Toyotas working together for them to make a dent. Well, I don't know about that because we do have 3 from 2311 this year. That's the most they've ever brought. And of course, Gibbs has 4 very strong Toyotas of their own. So I think Toyota actually has a leg up over what they've had in several years previous, only having 5 cars, maybe 6 if you want to throw a team like the Gaunt brothers in there, but doesn't get as much factory support from Toyota. But I think it could be a very strong showing for Toyota today. That's what I'm predicting. But again, I think Denny Hamlin makes it 4 Daytona 500s this year after 16, 19, and 20. He's going to win today. That's my official pick a winner prediction.
Have you and Joe Samaniego been in the same pool this week? Because Joe's picked the same one with Denny Hamlin as well. Is this year's safety pick to get you most points as well? Are you just following Joe?
Well, he's my safety pick for the 500. He's won it 3 times in the last, whatever it is, 7 years here. So, it's hard to bet against him. He always seems to find a way to be up front. And it's not just the wins. He's had, you look back at his previous Daytona 500 starts, he always seems to be up in the top 5 or at least in contention here. I want to say hello to Brian and thank you all for tuning in. I see we've got 13 people here currently watching the stream, and we peaked even a little bit higher than that. So thank you all for tuning into our pre-race show for Daytona 500 today.
Yeah, definitely. And Ben, you mentioned Martin Truex Jr. potentially been the bridesmaid again in the Daytona 500. Martin Truex Jr. was the one who came up short to Denny Hamlin quite a few years ago. And Martin Truex Jr. he's batting 0 for 18 in the Daytona 500, so he's looking to get it in that 19th start today.